Welcome. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Everyday Conversations regarding mental health. Tonight, I'm on my own again. I haven't been really proactive in trying to find a guest at the moment. I'm just taking a kind of shorter break. But tonight, what I'm going to talk about is living with tinnitus and the effects that it can have. Obviously, you're here because there's nothing on the telly, and I'm coming to you live from the old Heale Manor, and I'm your host, Lord Heale. This show is all about mental health, mental well-being, and taking the stigma out of it, because for decades it's been difficult to talk about mental well-being and stuff like that. But I suffer from tinnitus, and I'm going to talk about that tonight and the effect that it has on me, and some of the difficult times I have with it. So, tinnitus, what is it? The best way I can explain it is if you've ever been into a nightclub or a disco, something like that, with lots of loud noise going on, and you're in there for a couple of hours, whatever, and you come out and you've got that sensation of your ears ringing. Okay? Imagine that. Imagine having that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. There's no let up. It's just there. Now, the last couple of years, maybe 3 years, my tinnitus has been getting a lot worse. I go, I'm under the audiologist, and they've been looking at it, and I've got hearing aids. Here's my hearing aids, look. Now, I'll just cover hearing aids very quickly. The NHS, you can get hearing aids on the NHS free of charge. Anybody. I know the likes of Specsavers and Boots and all that have audiologists, and you can go and get your hearing checked there, and you can get hearing aids off of them. That costs you money. I was speaking to the audiologist, and she was saying to me that the NHS buy them in, and for a set of hearing aids, they pay around about £50. You go and buy the same hearing aids from somewhere like Boots or Specsavers, you're paying a couple of £1,000 for them, and they're the same thing. Makes sense to go and get your hearing checked with the NHS. Anyway, I divest. My tinnitus has seemed to have got worse over the last 2 or 3 years. Now, I heard a conspiracy theory. Whether it's a conspiracy theory or not, somebody was saying that it may be related to having a vaccine. I don't know. What I do know is that mine has got worse, and it's got louder. Also, my hearing range is also deteriorating. That may be due to my age. I'm not getting any younger. Just the other day, I filled out the form. They sent me the form to apply for my old age pension. So come April, I shall be a full-on pensioner. But living with tinnitus can be absolutely debilitating. I have been suicidal with it. It drives you to distraction sometimes. Sometimes it's so loud, you just don't know what to do with yourself, and you can't hear. The downside is when it's bad. I mean, it's bad at the moment. People talk to me, I can't hear what they're saying. I tend to lip read quite often. And when Lady Heale says something, I constantly saying, pardon, what, eh? And I do that to lots of people because I think they're mumbling, and I find it difficult to hear what they're saying. And then going to a noisy environment is even worse. In a noisy environment, I just can't hear anything. Now, I've got an app on the phone that connects my hearing aids to my phone. Here's the app. See if it comes in. So it's just trying to find them at the moment. But on there, when it does find it, it may take a minute or two. It gives me the ability to change the different settings on it. When I've been to the audiologist, we've been trying different things for the last 2 or 3 years, and these particular hearing aids, they're digital. They enhance the high pitches. That's where most of my hearing's gone from. Lots of it may have been due to my service in the army. May have been that all those years of firing guns, most of the time wearing hearing protection. When you're in operations, it's different. In years gone by, you didn't have hearing protection when you're out on operations. And if you're in a situation where you're firing guns all the time, it does have an effect on your hearing. Being in noisy environments also has that effect. So from my point of view, my hearing, I got hearing loss. Eventually it will get worse. And it's been getting worse over the last 5 years or so when I've been going to the audiologist. And I've seen the specialist, the proper, I've seen the top person down here at Queen Alexandra Hospital in Portsmouth. And I've been working with them over the last few years. I'm trying something new. I'm waiting for an appointment now to go and see a cognitive specialist to see if we can try something different. But I've tried all sorts. I've tried these things that you have at the side of the bed that make a bit of a noise that tries to distract your brain. There's one of the settings on, or two of the settings on here, is I've got the sound of the sea, and I've also got white noise that I could put on that will effectively try and take my brain off of it, try and train my brain to signal out the tinnitus. It ain't worked yet. I've tried and I've tried. It gets to the point of being really annoying. You imagine constant shh, shh, as the sea comes in, or constant white noise that tries to outdo the tinnitus. It ain't good. And it ain't working. So anybody that's going through, apparently everybody has tinnitus at varying degrees. Most people don't hear it. Most people can't pick it out. It's probably worst at night. When I take my hearing aids out, it goes very, very quiet, and then you can hear the tinnitus. And then trying to get to sleep with it, sometimes it's a real nuisance. It's a real struggle trying to get to sleep. And it also wakes you up during the night. along with the slightly inflamed prostate, where you have to get up in the night anyway. Something blokes my age tend to suffer from. It's just another thing that you have to get up in the night for. But you're constantly tired. It does wear you down. And that's when it starts to get a real nuisance. That's when it starts becoming difficult to live with. And I thought about different methods of committing suicide just to stop the noise, just to stop it for 5 minutes. Then I think to myself, I ain't going to stop for 5 minutes, I'm going to stop for good. Yeah, I have thought of different ways of doing it, and it's not something that I would do, but it can drive you to that. And I know people that it's happened to, people that have suffered with tinnitus. It's a debilitating bloody thing. It's terrible, really is. A nuisance. So anybody that does suffer from tinnitus, you have my sympathies. It's difficult to live with it. It really is. But we're here. We live with it. One thing the specialist did say is that it might be something to do with the little hairs in your ears that do all the twitching that make sound. It might be that's where they're shortening. That's what's causing the tinnitus. Possibly, maybe. And when you get sort of your top end of your 60s, your early 70s, they tend to shrink away, and possibly that's when it goes. For me, it can't happen soon enough. But there you go. That's living with tinnitus. And like I say, if you are suffering from tinnitus, if you are suffering from hearing loss, then you can go and see the NHS specialists. You don't have to fork out thousands and thousands of pounds to get hearing aids sorted out. And they're exactly the same ones. And they do several different types. These ones just look over the back of your ears and plug in. They do the ones that push inside your ear. They take a form of your ear. You push the ones inside your ear. You can get those on the NHS. So there's all manner of hearing aids that you can get. And they're exactly the same ones that you get from Boots or Specsavers or whoever else that are doing hearing aids. So that's it, dear friends. That's this week. Living with tinnitus. If you are living with it, you have my sympathies, you really do. And I'm afraid they don't know what causes it either. So it's one of those things that comes and goes. Sometimes it goes, sometimes it doesn't. For me, it hasn't. And it's one of those things. Anyway, next week, we'll see what happens. I may have a guest on, I may not. I may come up with something else. So until then, thank you for your time. Thanks for listening. If you are suffering, go and get help. It's out there. You've only got to reach out. So until the next one, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.